If you think about the ancient Greeks, Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, Heraclitus, the people we think about all the time. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm not afraid to be a little controversial. When you think about these people, smart guys. That's right, I went there. I'm going to take that stand. Smart people. And when you think about the fact that they did things that nobody else had done before, thought thoughts that nobody else had thought before, made conclusions that nobody else had made before, it's an amazing thing the way that things changed after they and people like them thought the things that they thought. It's beautiful. In some ways, a lot of what we do now are footnotes to what they talked about then. It's an amazing thing to think about. But it's fair to say that because they were doing things that nobody had done before and thinking things that nobody had thought before, they also missed some stuff. And here's what I mean. If you were to get them in a time machine and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure them here and show them a car and show them a house, these very smart guys, again, controversial position, but very smart guys, would go, wow. They both have a roof and doors and windows, but one goes and one doesn't go. What's the difference? Maybe it's the windows? No, they both have windows. Wait a minute. In the car, the windows roll down. You know what we should do is if we could get a house with windows that roll down, I'm sure it would go down the street. And so they would spend a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of money and a lot of everything designing windows that roll down for a house. And that seems silly to us, but when you think about it, if you remember anything from high school, you know that everything I've said is totally in line with the way that they thought. Smart people missing the point because they were caught up in effects, the outer stuff, the windows and the doors and the roofs, instead of the inner stuff like, let's say, the principles of internal combustion or whatever. It's easy to get caught up in effects and miss the cause. And I say that for a lot of reasons, and one of them is if you're missing something in your life, don't beat yourself up about it. Smart people might miss it too, and you're just as smart as they are. Give yourself a little slack. It's also fair to say, that was a long time ago. That was the Bronze Age. And back then, Bronze Age people, very different than us. The Bronze Age people were very warlike and very wrapped up in who's going to be better than who, and very wrapped up in how much money can I make and how many things can I own and how much results can I get. And, that's the way that they were. And nowadays we have Netflix. Just trying to say that if there's something in your life that isn't changing, maybe it's time to get out of the Bronze Age. Maybe it's time to come up with a new way of thinking about an old problem that might change things for you. It might be that it is time to stop thinking about how much I can make and how much control I can have and how much of a grind I can give to my life, and think about it a slightly different way. It might be that the solution has been there all the time. And I know that we're not trained for that. We're trained to get results. What are you doing? What's your 5-year plan? Are you getting results? Are you grinding the thing? Are you doing it? Are you making stuff fast enough? Oh, it's exhausting, isn't it? How much did you make? Money, attention. How much power do you have over people? How many likes did you get? Everything is quantifiable if it's worth anything, right? Yuck. What part of your real life is measured like that or measurable like that? We live in a culture where it's better and faster and more. We live in a culture where it doesn't matter if you were there as long as you got the t-shirt. You ever been to a theme park and seen the squish penny machine? You know what I'm talking about? If you just hate money and you want to get rid of it, you put it in the thing and you crank the crank and you're cranking it. So what a great metaphor for material life, by the way. You crank the thing and you crank the thing and yay, I ruined this penny and I'm going to take it home and put it in a box and I'll see it the next time I move. That is the end of my adventure with this penny. What a great metaphor, the souvenir culture. And it reminds me of this amazing paradox of looking for results, and that is that the faster you make results in your life, whether that's money or stuff or anything physical, the faster you make results in your life, the further you feel from anything like happiness. And you know it's true because you've done it. I have too. Don't try this at home. Might just be that there's a different way of thinking about that. And it's been there all along. I mean, that's not the only metaphor for life, is cranking the squish penny machine. You ever grown anything? You ever done any gardening? Ever done any farming? They work hard. I'm not against hard work. I'm a hard worker too. I love that. But in growing things, the intensity is not in the action. Think about that with me. If you plant a seed, you can't pull it up out of the ground and make it go faster. Come on, grind. Let me show you these YouTube clips. Let me read you some Anthony Robbins. If you do that, you'll spoil it. The intensity with growing things is not in the action. The intensity with growing things is in vision, is in trust. I do my work and I let it go. Wow, that's different, and that's not a new metaphor. Maybe that's one of the reasons in wisdom literature in general and in the Bible in particular, there are so many stories and so many metaphors about growing things. Even in the Roman culture, which is a post-agrarian society, there's this idea of think about how things grow. And think about the fact that maybe the intensity of my life should not be in action, but should be in trust, should be in vision. Maybe that would change something for me. Let me double down on that. Because again, we talk a lot about getting results and manifesting things and attracting things and brainstorming things and treasure mapping things and making more squish pennies. It is okay to look for results, but understand with me that results happen at the pace of the plant kingdom. I'm going to say that again. Results happen at the pace of the plant kingdom. There are so many people that have come to me for prayer treatment and spiritual counseling that say, I'm just not getting fast results. There must be something wrong with me in my consciousness. And I say, yes, you're right. You should hang it up. No, I don't say that. I say results happen at the pace of the plant kingdom. There's a lot of trust, and there's a lot of unlearning, and there's a lot of preparing the soil and planting the seed and providing an environment and waiting for the universe to do what it does. There's a lot of getting out of the way to the point where looking for results kind of isn't the point. It just isn't the point. It's all squish pennies, man. It's not the point. And I know that's tricky. Because sometimes people pray about things like healing. But remember with me whose child you are. Remember with me that if you, God forbid, cut your finger, you don't have to go, oh, come on, I got to read some books about this. What are some good finger affirmations? Your body knows what to do because life with a capital L, life, is a part of who you are right now. You don't have to make that happen. Your body knows what to do. Your heart knows what to do. Your life knows what to do. The love and the light in you knows what to do. Your job is just to get out of the way, man. Maybe it's less about making healing happen and more about getting out of the harm. I'm going to say that again. Maybe it's less about making healing happen and more about getting out of the harm, because another thing people come to me for counseling about is, hey, can you somehow fix this so that I can keep doing the toxic thing that I want to do but be cool with it? Can you say something to God? Does it work that way? All of a sudden I'm like their lawyer. Look, I think I can get you off. No, it doesn't work that way. Something has got to give. Some learning has got to happen. It might just be that it's not about your ego's desire for a specific result and more about opening up to something bigger. I'll put that another way. Think about any world problem and tell me how it is not connected to some group of people trying to get their way. And sometimes very well-meaning people. But just, you don't know everything. And you're pushing something and all of a sudden, problems. Maybe it's not about results. Maybe it's about seeing something, trusting something, loving something, nurturing something instead of making and forcing something. The other thing about looking for results is sometimes we miss things that are really, really important. I've had people say, well, I put myself out there, but it felt funny, so I stopped. And I get that. Listen to your heart. I'm not saying don't. But I will also say that there are times in life where it is entirely appropriate to be mad. There are times in life when it is entirely appropriate to be sad, to be frustrated, to be angry. It is okay that sometimes you got to go into the temple and kick over a table or two. It is okay that there are things in life that do not work. And that is a huge part of growth. If you go, wait a minute, this stinks, man. I got to fix this. Are you going to be that person, or are you going to go, it just wasn't in my consciousness, and I felt such negative vibes about it. I just didn't want to do anything about it, and I don't watch that. Cool, it's still on fire. And you've got a bucket of water. Maybe it's time to face the heat sometimes. I'm not saying look for trouble, but I am saying sometimes it's okay to be mad so that you can fix the thing. And if all I do is look for feel-good results, I might miss some real growth opportunities. So maybe it ain't about the results. But let me say all that differently. What if life is like a Nintendo game and there's some cheat code where you can get all the way to the end? Okay, I just want results. I just want to get to the cool part. I just want to get paid. I don't want to have to do anything. It's up, down, left, right, A, B, A, B, right? Something like that. That's all I have to do to get there. If you go to base camp at Mount Everest and you take a helicopter up to the top, did you climb it? If you compromise the process, you miss out on the learning. You miss out on the fun. If getting there is half of the fun, maybe all the fun, you're crashing the party. There's something wonderful about your story. There's something wonderful about learning and breaking through something. There's something beautiful about that. Think of the movies you like. Are they movies where nothing happens? Are they movies where somebody grows and there's a character arc and something happens? What about your story? I'm trying to say it's okay if you've got stuff to work through. You are the hero of this story. It doesn't mean that you're bad or wrong or your consciousness is weird and you need another seminar. It means you're on the right track. It's okay. It is okay. And besides, wanting to skip to the end is the beginning of like the prodigal son story, and there's a whole lot more story. Give me my inheritance now. I don't want to do anything. Well, you've heard that one in Sunday school if you went to Sunday school. And you know it's only the beginning. There's a lot more to it. But one of the great things about that story, and I'm not going to beat that one into the ground, but one of the great things about that story is it reminds all of us that we all start in a place of oneness with God. If you spend any time around a little one, you know they know things. And you're like, oh, wait a minute, I used to know that too. We start in that place. And when I say that, people go, yeah, but how did I forget? If I start in that place, how did I forget? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because it turns out it's kind of easy. For me, I can tell you for sure that there have been times when I was confronted with so much love and so much it working and so much happiness that I did a dumb thing. Look, I really try to be a good person, but if I won the lottery, I can't promise I wouldn't be a jerk for a couple of days. Sometimes power and potential can feed the ego. And that's all we're talking about. Man, when I had my first job when I was a kid and I didn't have any real bills, but I had some real money for a minute, I did some dumb stuff. Lead us not into temptation. That makes a little more sense now, doesn't it? If I have this realization of who I am as a child of God, let me not be a dumb person about it. That's what that means. But if I do the thing, if I feel this power and I do something selfish, egotistical, materialistic, or whatever, all of a sudden I feel isolated from God, from spirit, from truth, from whatever that word is for you. I have a choice. I can push further away, or I can try to come home. That's the choice. And so often it feels so much easier to push away. I feel alone, and so you know what? I'm going to do some of the things that look like I'm a child of God. And this is the beginning of the Protestant Reformation. This is John Calvin and the Protestant work ethic. But this is also people in New Thought who think, I should be judged by how much I can manifest. I made a Buick, so I'm cool, right? I'm like the Dalai Lama because look at my car. Or whatever. It's all in my new book, Hello, Dolly. But you know what I mean. It's the same thing. It is the beginning of the grind in a secular world. It is the idea that somehow I can manufacture something that already is. It is the beginning of this endless chase where everything is just ashes, and no matter what I make, it's not enough. And I make a thing and I don't even look at it, and I go on and I make the next thing and I don't even look at it, and I go on and I make the next thing and I don't even look at it because there's bills to pay and there's stuff going on and I need more likes on my Instagram post. Or whatever it is. And again, it's a squish penny. Because once I put that money, which could be spent on anything, into the machine and make a souvenir, it is no longer fungible. You know, I can't trade it for anything anymore. Goes in the shoebox. Everything is like that. There is so much talk about manifestation, but once something is manifested or attracted or whatever word you want to use, whatever's in the next book, once it is created, it's like a dead battery, a squish penny. There's no more power in it. It's not worth your attention. So I'm telling you, you don't have to hustle in that way anymore. It's not doing you any good. It's not doing the world any good. Look at the news. But I don't want to bum you out because the truth is this is actually a very good sign. The fact that you can want a thing and then not even look at it is beautiful in a way. Stick with me. It's beautiful in a way. The fact that your Christmas wish list was different when you were 8 than it is now, although I'll be honest, some of the things I want now still are things. Anyway. The fact that you have evolved and yet you can want a thing and not even look back is actually a good sign, because what it really means is that you were never interested in the results at all. You were never interested in the feedback at all. You were just told you were supposed to, so you played the game. But you never cared about it because you can make a thing and then toss it out the rearview window. What it really means is that you want a connection with cause. It's never been about effects. I feel alone, I feel separate, and I want to connect with that thing that has always been true about me. How do I interact with that? Or as we might say to the prodigal son, as Dennis Merritt Jones said, I know we quoted him a little while ago, what he says is, if you feel far from God, who moved? Which I love. But I'll do you one better, because you can't go anywhere that God is not. How close is love? How close is art? How close is beauty or honor? You can't even really move. All you can move is what you see. So if you want your life to work, lift up your eyes. That's all you got to do. You don't have to go anywhere. No souvenirs required. No hustle required. No grind required. Not 5 easy payments. Just watch what you see. The eye, as they say, is the lamp of the body. Watch what you see. Because just like every story, Dorothy, you could have gone home all along. It's always been true about you. It is the case. You're a wizard, Harry. It's every story. You have it in you right now. But to do it, you need to watch what you see. So I'm going to propose an experiment, something that I want you to do with me. Try it for a day. You get to pick the day. If you're feeling saucy, try it for a week. If you really want to go for it, try it for a month, because they say that's about as long as it takes to build a new habit. But start where you start. Do what you can do. And here's what I want you to do. Like I said, a day, a week, a month, whatever. Do what you do. Start where you start. Here is the thing that I want you to do. You ready? Stop talking about squished pennies. Stop talking about squished pennies. In other words, if it is a thing that has been created, there is no power in it. It is not something to live your life by. So stop talking about it. The money will come and go. Stop talking about money. You're trying to get a connection with cause, not effect. So stop using those words. Do you want to talk about roses, or do you want to talk about love? See what I mean? The roses are a byproduct. But if that's all I care about, I am destined for relationship counseling. Stop talking about squish pennies. The next time somebody says manifestation to me, I'm going to say, that's great, but that's a squish penny. That's a thing that happens as a byproduct. I'm not interested in attraction anymore. That is a byproduct. It's a squish penny. I'm not interested in vibrations. It's a physical thing. That means it's a byproduct. I'm not interested in vibes. I'm not interested in energy. That is a byproduct. Stop talking about squished pennies. Just for a day, just for a week, just for a month. See what you can do. And fill that time. Stop talking about effects and start talking about cause. So can you talk about love? Can you talk about art? Can you talk about beauty? Can you talk about truth? Can you talk about honor? Can you talk about spirit? Can you talk about God? Can you talk about anything that feels like cause with a capital C? And watch how that changes your vision. Watch how that changes what you experience in your life. Do it for a day. Do it for an hour. Sometimes it's tricky to get around a bunch of people who don't talk about money all the time. Find them. They're there. You can find them. Be one. Watch what happens when you develop a close relationship with cause. And I'll go one further because we're going to fill not just our eyes but our hearts. Remember with me the last time you felt close to Spirit. The last time you felt close to God, close to truth, close to the thing working. Let's be as generic as we can. The closest you felt to the mystery. And there have been moments. Often it's not even something that happens in church. It's something that happens in the beach, in traffic. The right song comes on. Whatever it is. Think about the last time you felt that way. Think about when you were in one of those thin places. Try to remember everything about how it felt, what you had going on, what was happening in that moment in your world. Because the truth is, there is a part of you, an ancient, wild part of you that is still there, that is calling back to you. And if you can go back there in your heart, in your thoughts, in your consciousness, then you can go and bring something back to this moment. Let's be wide-eyed mystics together. There's something beautiful in this moment that is so much bigger. Remember that moment and make another one. Because you know what? It's great. Read books. I've written books. Read some of my books. That's cool. Go to a workshop. Go to a seminar. Do a thing. I love it. That's awesome. They're all great. But at the end of the day, the question I have for you is not, how many books have you read? Because I am not in the position to give out personal pan pizzas for everybody that finishes a book. This is in middle school. Boy, if our culture did that still, where would we be? Anyway, I don't care how many books you read. What I want to know is, when is the last time you laughed out loud? When is the last time something was so beautiful that it brought a tear to your eye? When is the last time you said wahoo about something? When is the last time when nobody was looking and you played air guitar with sincerity? Make it today. Because that's where God shows up. You want stuff to happen in your life? The paradox of it all is stop caring about the stuff happening and start just being there. Golden key it. Stop talking about the problem and start talking about God. You know, Einstein said, again, controversial but smart guy, I say. Einstein said, you can't solve a problem with the same thoughts that created it. So maybe, just maybe, it is time to get out of the Bronze Age. Maybe, just maybe, it is time to think in a different way. Maybe, just maybe, there is something about this life that is not earned, that you don't have to grind for, that it doesn't matter if other people approve of or not. Maybe, just maybe, there is something that is already true about you, that you don't have to make happen, you don't have to force it. Think about the people you love. Don't you want to say to each and every one of them, do you know how beautiful you are? How strong, how capable. I don't know everybody in this room all that well. Some people I do, some people not so much. But on behalf of the people who know you very well, you are so strong. You have been through so much. You are so beautiful, so capable, so real. See yourself with those ancient wild eyes and watch what happens when you know that you are free. Because after all, freedom is a choice. Thank you.